Jackie Kashian, Laurie Kilmartin.
Oh my God, the airport was on fire.
Tell me everything. Tell me, Jackie, I have not heard enough shitty travel stories in the past week. I tweeted about it. I don't know why it's being suppressed, but you were at a fiery inferno airport. So tell me.
That's right. Well, let me just first of all say that we should change the name of the podcast to just Shitty Travel Stories, because I was out with Maria doing South Carolina, North Carolina, Atlanta, and then Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville, Florida was on Thursday. So Friday morning, she was flying on to Norfolk out of Jacksonville, Florida. I was flying to Minneapolis to do a synagogue gig on Sunday, which more will be revealed about that. So I get there early, and we get boarded, and then I get a text from Maria going, "Hey, are they going to let you leave? My lift just got turned around because there was a fire." And I was like, to my knowledge, we are about to take off in this airplane. And then the pilot came out and he said, we can't take off because there has to be a fire truck on the tarmac for safety when you take off, just in case there's trouble. So there's a small fire, I guess, in the carport of this airport, and one of the parking space, one of the parking lots, and then he comes back out and he goes, "Not that small. We're gonna deplane, and they're gonna put out the fire, and then we're gonna try to get out of here." And
I'm gonna take you off the plane and return you to a building that's on fire.
Right. And the airport wasn't on fire, just the parking lot. But it turns out,
I'm just saying, you should lie.
Lockdown. Yes. Total lockdown, though, on the airplane. Nobody could leave. Nobody could come.
Wait.
You could not leave the airport.
Oh, the airport. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Right, because there was fire. And then about an hour and a half in, they made an announcement. They said, you can walk out if you want. if you live here and you can get someone to meet you at the Bojangles up the block or whatever the hell.
Oh my God. So how long did that go for?
About 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Which of course meant that when I flew to Atlanta to change planes to fly to Minneapolis, I missed my flight.
Right.
So they automatically put me on. So I ended up getting there around 3:30. I was my plane took off at 3, sadly, but I got there at 3:30, and they put me on at 11 p.m. Direct to Minneapolis. And so I went into the Sky Club and I was like, "Hey, what else you got? I'm willing to go to several different towns, just to get there, not live here for the next 6 hours. How about that?" And she goes, "I can get you." And then she got me on a 7 p.m. direct. But that also got pushed, so it didn't leave until 8:30. So I got to my hotel at 1 a.m.
Oh my God.
But I didn't have anything to do that night. There was a woman behind me to get help, and she was on the phone doing that thing that sometimes you do so that the person at work knows how hard you've suffered.
Oh,
and
right.
So she was behind me talking to her friend going, and this woman was rude. It's never happened. It's never been. She just slammed I was like, I'm here. And she's like, and she closed the door in my face and I couldn't get on the plane. She said, "The plane's full. We gave away your seat." And it does sound rude. It does sound like it was not sympathetically put, but she told that story. I'm not kidding, because this woman in front of me was getting me on the 7 p.m. She told it at least 4 times.
Oh my God.
Start to finish.
So was she refining it? By the 4th time, was it
tighter,
sharp?
It was a little bit tighter, tighter. So, and by the end of it, she did say, "Well, this is the worst service I've ever had at Delta, and it usually isn't that bad." And so when the woman handed me my boarding pass, I turned to the woman behind me and I said, "Remember that it's not usually this bad, and that's the worst that it's ever been. So don't take it out on this lady." And then I walked away.
All right. Now, how did she respond to that?
She was like, "You're right. And so little pep talk between the people in line. I could have used one, but I was actually pretty mellow about it because I didn't have anything to do. So I was was pretty fun, but it was a terrible like triangle sandwich, one stupid triangle sandwich after another. And then but I will say this, so we did Carolina, and then we did Atlanta, and you know who lives in Atlanta? Baron Vaughn.
Right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
So he came to the show, hung out, did the voice of God, brought me out, and then he drove us back to the hotel, and then he drove me to the airport. Well, no, he drove us both to the airport the next day to Jacksonville.
So what did you talk about living in Atlanta? What's he up to?
He really likes it. He really likes it.
Is he getting lots of spots?
Yeah, he can get spots, and but he, he didn't talk so much about spots. He has an idea for a show that he wants to start as a podcast, proof of concept, that kind of thing. So, Maria and him were talking about the wider industry. I only get involved when anyone wants to talk about stand-up comedy. I was like, you want to do Joke Machine? And so he did come up with an alternative, because right now I'm back to calling my album Altercation, but he likes, because I've decided it's a trilogy, and he likes Provocation, and I don't know, whatever.
All right.
But so then I was, and then I did a guest set on Saturday night at the Acme, because that good Irish comic, David.
David Nile?
That's it, Nile.
Oh,
That's
cool. That's who I was talking about various activities in Ireland at Moon Tower.
That's right. And he gave me a guest set, and I was dressed like Charlie Brown. I was not. It was not my finest look, and I did, but it was a way to plug the fact that I'm going to be at Acme in 3 weeks.
Yes, and what's his crowd like?
They look they look of Irish ancestry.
Is it because he's doing like a book theme, right, for his tour?
Okay, here's
did
the
you
thing.
watch his show?
I did not, and I said to him, because he said, "Do you want to do a set?" And I said, "I would love to, but I'm not going to make it. I'm so tired from travel that I have to lie down." And he said, "I don't care. I'd love to see you do 10 minutes." And so I did 10 minutes, and I did essentially half of 5 bits, which is fine, because you know how long my jokes are. There's at least 2 punchlines in each of the bits. It's fine. But I jumped around from topic to topic to just sort of give them a taste of what they're going to get in 3 weeks. But he was super sweet. And then he brings an opener, a guy named James, who was like, "You're not even going to stay for me?" And I said, "I am not. I am not."
Wait, the opener goes up before you, right?
No, the feature. He brings a feature. And then the MC, a guy named Grant, he's actually MCing for me in 3 weeks. So
okay. I was curious if he has, because I know he was doing a book theme where it's almost like a book club with his audience, and I was wondering if it was more women, or I was just wondered what the makeup was, but you say mostly just looks Irish descent.
Yeah.
I.e. white.
Super white, a bunch of pasty white folks. I did my Irish goodbye joke because why not? They seem to be, and they and then I did the synagogue gig on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was so scared. I was not scared, but I was just like, okay, we're doing this in the temple part. You know, it'd be like if you were in the Catholic Church and I was on the altar, and just slinging,
right,
slinging jokes.
So you are where the rabbi's normally standing,
yes,
giving his homily about Christ, or am I misreading?
No, you're missing something. It's pre-Christ.
Okay.
They're anticipating a Christ. By the way, still anticipating a Messiah.
I didn't
That's
realize
the whole thing about Judaism. I don't know if you
I didn't realize they
them.
were still waiting.
Yeah, they're still. It's all. Yeah, there's no. They haven't named anyone yet. So
I like to tell everyone there's no Messiah. I don't care what religion you are. No one's coming to save us. We're fucking doomed. No one came. No one's coming.
Save thyself. I will say this week's episode of the Dork Forest is with Tommy Ryman, and it's a mess. I gave him 15 minutes, and I wanted to talk about the Superman trailer for an hour. The trailer is 4 minutes.
Okay.
And I just wanted, and he was like, so we just weed off. We talked about a lot of things. Yeah, we did, Tommy Ryman and I. It was I got to see so many great. It was nice. I got to hang out with my sister. I got to hang out with comics. I got to hang out with Acme peoples. It was super fun, and I heard some gossip, some hot goss.
Can you
about? Let's see. Let's
type
find
it,
the chat.
please?
So
I was trying to type our comic of the week in there, and I couldn't find it. It wasn't popping up for me. Studio chat.
I don't want to. Oh, there it is. Studio
I just
chat.
typed what?
You just typed what? You sure did. So
tell me.
This is
Who's
an old
fucking who?
Well, this is an old
okay.
That's a club that is and I was talking to all different bookers because I am trying desperately to get some work. I forgot to tell anybody where I am working because I am working and all through June. But so I've been calling like Portland, Maine. I've been trying to get into Cincinnati. I've been trying to do all these different things. So I'm not going to tell you which club, Jackie and Laurie listeners, which you still don't have not named yourself. I'm going to need that. This guy that I typed the name,
yes,
back in the 90s, stopped getting booked at a certain club, because he mailed himself drugs to the club. It feels like a real 1990s kind of move.
Totally. I mean, if you're going to start not booking comics because of that, you're not going to have anyone over 30 at your clubs, which is actually what they want. That's hilarious.
Right. And then
I mean, he used the postal service,
right.
That's in the Constitution. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a real American right there.
Right. And so I don't know.
Jackie, do you have any gossip from this millennium?
I do, but I don't know how to put it in a way that doesn't just blurt it out. And I did not ask the guy who told me if it was okay to say it on this program. Okay. So I feel I'm at a loss. Let's just say that someone with a large catalog has moved their entire catalog to a different label, and I don't necessarily. It feels like it might not be the smartest move, but maybe this guy doesn't need Sound Exchange money, right? So who knows? I don't. And
okay.
So
it went to a different record company.
Yeah, just essentially like a garage startup that this guy's doing,
separate from.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
So, was that fascinating, listeners of the Jackie and Laurie show? Was that something?
If this is the first one you tuned into, this is how they used to all be, and then we started getting shut out of places and realizing, oh,
don't do that. But I will say that someone did text me.
Yeah.
A guy who, you know how like comics are forced to drive the headliners sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so local comics will often have my phone number,
right?
And usually it's fine. Usually they don't. There's not a lot of whatever. Occasionally they will pipe up and go, just to remind you I exist, I do stand-up comedy if you were to need an opener. And I'm like, you got to ask, and I don't.
Yeah, right.
So I don't have the I don't have the wherewithal at this time, but and if I did, I would bring Carmen Morales. I'm afraid I'm bringing Carmen to Acme. Very funny. So I did have lunch with. I'm going to tell 3 stories at once. I had lunch with Louis Lee, and who owns Acme, and I said, "Can we just get Carmen a hotel room, and you could take it out of my pay?" And then I paused. And I looked at him. And I said, "And then you could pay me more."
That's why he takes you to lunch, Jackie.
I took him to lunch because he's always Tyson. Stop barking. Thank you. Anyway, so but yes, but he is we went to the Native American restaurant in Minneapolis, though, the Awami.
Yeah. Right. Jackie, why did you type this last thing you typed and then stop talking about it?
Because it was about one of the younger comics from that place texted me to tell me about some drama at his local club that I shouldn't work that club. And we know how that worked out.
Guess what? We don't take ourselves out of clubs because clubs kick us out before we even say anything. Okay. Right. Sorry.
You're a straight white guy. You don't work that club. How about that?
Thank you. And why don't you text a straight white guy who works that club constantly and tell them? Yeah. Right.
Why don't you?
Please.
I need.
Oh my God.
Right. I was like, and 2 above that. The young man had texted me, "I will never take advantage of the no having your phone number unless it's an emergency." And this was an emergency.
2 texts above that? Oh no.
2 texts above that. So all I did was block him. I just blocked his number.
You blocked him? No, okay.
Yeah. I
think you could just say, as a female comic, I don't take myself out of clubs ever because they don't book
right
us.
now.
Oh, okay.
Now you've heard it, young man, sir. And
all right.
And
don't expect us to have ethics. Okay. Sorry.
It's my ethics
we'll starve.
Are very much local. And yes, it's
I have ethics on stage when I tell jokes and when I figure out which jokes I want to tell and how I write. Those are when I have ethics. After that, I want to work every club and I don't care what rapist owns it.
I will, if I see him raping in the moment, I will stop him. Is that something? Is that
you'll go back on stage the next night, right?
Well, it's
I'm here for the audience who got themselves at the club. Okay.
So I watched. I do not endorse whatever Laurie Kilmartin has just said. Just let that be said.
That's a blanket statement that applies to everything I do say.
Right. She's edgy. Remember that. But I will say this is that I saw the Bob Dylan movie on because it was
Chalamet?
a 14-hour. It was I believe so. On the I was on the airplane for so many hours. I saw so many movies. So I saw the Bob Dylan movie, and Woody Guthrie said something about Pete Seeger quotes the Pete Seeger actor quotes the Woody Guthrie actor when he said something along the lines of a good song does good, and it was something like that.
Oh,
right?
I see. Right. Okay.
A good song does good in the world, or something, or does good for the, it doesn't. And I was thinking that's aspirational comedy wise. You want it to move the needle a little bit in the positive. I'm not here to make fun of high school trans people. How about that?
Right.
Which is literally what I heard. Is this something? Could I just say his name? Because he recognized me. I didn't recognize him. And it was
Jackie, are you going to drag me to another drama? Type it.
I thought I did, and it didn't go. All right. How about now? How about now with the typing? It was just.
I don't want to be dragged into any drama with that guy. No, thank you.
He's just too many followers, too much nonsense.
Yes.
So we're just trying to do stand up here, and I'm psyched about my stand up right now. Except for, of course, I have a new giant chunk and I was talking to Dominic Del Bene, who is going to do my next album and help with the special, right? And we were talking about, because I have it booked to do Portland, Oregon, in November. But there was some talk of maybe asking a local place in LA and doing it. Just because I don't know
Yeah.
if I can fill an LA room though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
You know what
I think I can
Tammy
fill
Joe
Portland.
did before
What?
my dad's special is she had bringers. Like I had bringers in front of my special, and they brought people because I had 4 shows at the Lyric.
What? That's
And
amazing.
they were great audiences, as bringer
Yeah.
audiences are. Like the
Right.
the comics, they only had to do. There's only like 2 per show. They each did like 10, maybe 8, but it was a
Right.
killer crowd, and
Mhm.
they weren't like one of 50 comics. And
Oh,
then the
that's great.
people got to. I don't know. I don't know if that's something worth thinking about, but
Everything's something worth thinking about. That's where I'm at. I'm like, all right. My brain hurts, as I will say, because but I am excited about the new we've got this new trifecta premise, as you do, but each bit, like the one big bit right now, of course, is like 3.5 minutes. The 2 little ones are the second one is sort of, I've cannibalized it from an earlier set list. And I didn't try any of this stuff at the synagogue. I did the synagogue bit, perfectly well lit, too well lit, and there were children. And I opened with, you ever in the middle of a joke and the punchline is "Marry, fuck, kill," and you're like, "Oops."
yeah,
And
right.
so I said "Marry, fuck, kill," and then I said, "I'm not getting paid enough to not swear." So you guys are gonna have to suck it up, but I promise to try not to swear again.
The
And I
thing
didn't.
is we can't remember every word in our jokes, right? We have one word that we name the joke, and that's it. Maybe it's 2 words. I
Right.
can't call a joke abortion jokes. I've had so many, so I have to get very specific on which aspect of abortion I'm joking about. But still, the point is that we're like, yeah, I think that's clean. Like you just don't have time to go over every word, and then
Right.
you find you're like telling the joke, and then as your mouth gets closer to like your there's an autopilot, and you're like, oh, I know where this is going. And I cannot turn left or right. We're going straight through the light.
Right down right through the light, down the barrel of the gun.
Yeah.
It's true. And I will say that there were several that most of the people had a really good time. And I just, I was like, I'm just doing the hour, guys. That's what's happening. And I didn't try any of the new stuff, but I did have my set list on stage because I was like, this is weird. It's too well lit. There's children staring
Plus,
at me.
it's your sister sitting. There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Of discomfort, potential discomfort.
It's true.
Well, I was home this week.
Okay.
And I didn't have many spots. And it's making me crazy.
Yeah, it would.
So I'm continuing to go crazy, and I don't know what to do.
We're gonna do a Zoom.
I did become part of Jackie Kashian Enterprises, where I am an executive vice president of your Zoom channel.
Right.
So
You sent me $150, which is how much Zoom costs a year. But now
Jackie, you've already explained.
admin.
You don't have to re-explain it to me. I get it.
Right. But it's and I called Zoom to make sure that I was doing it right. And I will have you know, they took my call.
You are a Delta Platinum at Zoom as well.
Yeah, and I'm paying for it, but but it was good. I did like that I could do it.
Yes. So we're gonna do a Zoom show at 7 o'clock. Did we say?
Yeah.
On Thursday night. Yeah.
Right.
So and that will be for Patreons. It will be for Max Funsters. You'll get the link for the Max Funners. You'll get the link from Max Fun. Patreons, you'll get it in the Patreon. And if you want to join the Patreon or support us on Max Fun, you can do that. That would be great.
That's great. And then maybe I'll work on that new chunk that I'm doing a show on Wednesday at the Elysian. Is that right? And then I'm going back to Minneapolis on Saturday for my niece's wedding and my other niece's baby shower. And I don't know what to get these people as gifts. I assume me coming to visit them.
Is the gift? That's nice.
Yeah, except for
Jackie,
I'm
you are
100
flying all
years
the way
old,
out.
so
Yes.
I am flying all the way out. So I don't know, but I could slip them a 20. Is that done? No, that's not enough.
For what? For graduation?
It's a wedding and a baby
wedding.
shower.
Yeah. I think 20 is not enough. I think it's got
20
to
isn't
be
enough. I think it's got to be a couple, $100 each, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100 and then the receipt of your plane ticket so they know how much it costs you to spend $100 in person.
I have to say that that everyone is pretty successful, this next generation of youth in the Kashian family.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's always nice to know that things are going well.
Well, it seems like you guys all kicked the generational trauma. You shut it down. You didn't spread it. It didn't contaminate the next generation. That's good.
It's a cash cow for me. I'm the one who's just sort of cashing in on it because I will mine the trauma for jokes forever. I have a new the new bit that I'm working on is about all my siblings, which is interesting because I've been trying to write jokes about my siblings for probably 10 years. And I think I've got the right hook now. But come to the Zoom on Thursday, you guys.
Please.
And then you can hear the premise and hopefully at least one punchline. Welcome to hell. Well, anyway, but the following week, I'm doing Rochester, Minnesota, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin, opening for Maria at those. And I'm sure we'll drive between them. And then June 11 to 14, I'm at Acme headlining that week with Carmen Morales featuring. And the week after that, the next couple of weeks, like till the end of June, I'm mostly just I'm opening for Maria at Irvine, Ontario, and Livermore.
Oh, I love Livermore. It used to be a joke as well when I was growing up.
It was Livermore.
Exactly.
Where is it?
It's east. It's in the East Bay. If you go, it's like I'd say between San Jose and the East Bay. It's kind of, you go east a little bit on 580. And it was total cow town when I was growing up. We mocked Livermore endlessly.
Oh, it's the joke town?
Walnut Creek. Yes. And then
that's some gutsy stuff. Walnut Creek.
And then Livermore heard us and said, well, fuck you. And they're very close to the Silicon Valley. People started bleeding up towards Livermore when it got too expensive. And it's really beautiful out there. And now they've got a ton of wineries and they've got their own thing going on. Oh. I wouldn't mind living in Livermore for a little while. I'm getting itchy. I
have to say, you want to go somewhere?
I want to live in Paris.
Oh, wow. All right. Well,
that's always been a goal at some point.
It's the Livermore of France. So you're not wrong.
I guess because my son is like, I don't know, everyone's got forward motion right now, you know?
Oh, and, right. And so you'd like to also have it.
I feel some forward motion, but I don't know. It feels weird right now. You know, comedy is weird. Why is it so hard to get fucking little weekends of work? I don't get it.
Yeah, they're not even little to me. They're my income. So I'm desperate to get some work.
I'm saying we're not asking for the big shit. It's you know, we're asking for like little Friday, Saturdays. That's what I feel like. Why is that so hard? Why is it so hard? I can list the clubs where I'm like, I see your lineups.
Right. I had a cool kid today complain about how he couldn't get into helium. He called me up to tell me that he was mad that he couldn't get into helium.
He called you? You have comics complaining to you about
not getting into helium.
Which
on a non-podcast.
Absolute waste of time.
Right. Just out of the blue, I'm like, well, thank you for calling. I too don't work helium. It's very sad. And
who is it? Can you type the name?
Sure, I don't think you know him. He's but
I know everybody.
You probably know him. I didn't spell it right.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know he was a cool kid. All right.
Yeah, there should be no reason why there's no reason why helium shouldn't book a lot of people. Right. But the fact that he would call me up and just go, "Yeah, it's driving me," and I said, "Is it?" Because I have been driven. I'm already past the river, and
Mhm.
so when we did sort of these various size theaters with Maria,
Mhm.
and we did South Carolina first, and then we did North Carolina, and I accidentally called it South Carolina when we were in North Carolina, and they got mad at me,
Sure.
and just for in a ooh kind of way, and I just if I had ever recorded crowd work, I just did the old Minnesota Wisconsin. I just pulled the old Minnesota Wisconsin joke out of the vault, because who cares? It's, as far as everyone else is concerned, it's the same state, but of course it isn't. But who cares?
Right. South Carolina is where they started the Civil War, basically. They fired their
And
first
we were
shots,
right
so
there,
maybe
bunker.
the
We were
North
right
was
there.
a little upset.
Oh, North Carolina.
They were like,
Oh,
"Hey,
did you see that?
we came in 2 days later, so please."
Did you see that plantation? The plantation
Oh my
burned
God.
down.
Yes, I love all the memes of Black people saying the ancestors. Just hilarious. Great.
Right.
Mhm.
It was just like they never addressed it at all. They're just like, oh, it's just and it was an Australian company that bought it, and
Interesting. And
they didn't.
they would stage weddings at it and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't address at all that it was built and there was so much cruelty and so much. It'd be
Yeah.
like, and now Auschwitz is
Mhm.
a wedding venue, and you're
Mhm.
like, no, please do not. But it is. I remember I one time went to Monticello
Yeah.
with Andy, and
Uh-huh.
we had two choices. We only had a small amount of window, so we could either take a tour of the big house or the
Mhm.
slave quarters. And we took a tour of the slave quarters because, they lived through it. I can look at it.
Mhm.
So, and, but I would have, I didn't want to do any of it. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but we did it. And there was a family. It was a white guy who was a docent, and it was almost all white people. And then there was a black family who lasted like two or three stops, and then they were like,
Mhm.
we're done. So
That reminds me, JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette, they got married in slave quarters off an island. I remember it. I wasn't too aware of shit, but I was like, huh. But I was like, oh, I guess we do that or whatever. Like, but this was it was off an island in the Carolinas. It was kind of out that way, but it was
okay.
like pitched as like it in People magazine, like very romantic and
Oh shoot.
yeah. Oh,
Really?
this is when was this? 97, 98, something like that.
Are we glad he's dead then? No. That's
No,
so
I feel
sad.
like that would be
That's
the
sad.
what that's like a ding on his otherwise pristine body
Hmm.
that I
He
thought
was
about
very
many
very
times.
handsome.
He
Yes.
was.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm sure were he alive, he would be,
Mortified. Yes.
mortified or helping his cousin. Because I don't know how people turn anymore. RFK Jr. used to be a normal guy who gave a shit about the environment, and then he turned. You
Oh,
cannot
really?
predict when people are going to turn. It's so shocking.
It's interesting. It's literally, it feels like there's something in the water, but not
There's
the water that we're drinking.
It's not fluoride
So-
anymore in Florida and Utah, thanks to
Right.
RFK.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, it does feel like there's some force that pulls people because RFK Jr. has a ton of money. He's a Kennedy,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Like, and main branch, right?
Yeah, I mean, right off, yeah, he's
Like generational wealth Kennedy, like a fancy Kennedy.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
Again, I don't know. Ethel had 11 kids, and RFK.
Oh my
Actually, I
God.
don't know their finances, but I'm assuming there's plenty to go around.
Right.
With that generation, with the children of the main 9 or the 8 or
Mhm.
the 7, actually. I don't know. They all didn't have kids. A couple of them. 3 of them died.
Right.
Yeah, Kathleen, Joe, and Rosemary did not have kids because they died pretty young. And
Okay.
of course, Rosemary, as you texted me, that lobotomy.
Right. I tagged you guys.
Yeah.
Because History I'd Like to Fuck is the name of the podcast. And it's called HILF.
Could things be normal for like a decade, please? Do we have to fuck everything? Please. I'm
do.
so tired.
I think we do. Someone was. Yeah. I guess. Well, we should probably do comic of the week. By the way, speaking of, because I was thinking this comic that that Lewis was telling me sold out, but I was watching her clips and she was hilariously dirty. But not our comic of the week. But let's do our comic of the week.
Oh, wait, I closed her window. Here she is. Sam Nicoresti.
Sam Nicoresti.
I will
watched
spell
clips.
it SAM as you can imagine. NICO Nico Resti RESTI. She's trans and I believe she's British
Of some sort.
Unless sometimes I mix up British and Australian, but I believe she's British. Yes. So, but she's very funny, really funny.
She's super funny.
She has a really funny joke about gender neutral bathrooms and hack comedians.
Right. And
being obsessed with it. Yeah.
And also how it wasn't a choice to be trans.
Yeah, she's great.
That
you should
joke
check
was
out
very
her,
funny too.
her stuff.
So
I guess
go there.
She's a full
it's
comedy
at Sam
special.
Nicoresti.
Yes.
Is it? And so that'll be in the notes, and follow and enjoy.
And she has a full special called Woke Flake on YouTube.
Woke Flake.
Now, Jackie, I went to the dermatologist and they cryoed a bunch of stuff, but it's like showing up too much.
Frozen?
Yeah, it'll fall off. Moles and things. I have a little skin tag on my eyelid. It should be coming off soon. What I'm saying is, please do not issue clips of this particular podcast. I don't need this face out there on Instagram. Okay?
That's a good looking face.
It's not.
I will not do. How about you doing this and saying, "Look at this skin tag"? That won't be.
It's coming off, but everything's getting worse for a little bit until it gets better.
Do you want to call this episode "Skin Tag"?
No. Do you go to the dermatologist once a year to get checked for cancer and all that kind of stuff?
Nope. In other news, I took a COVID test today because I didn't feel well, and I thought, and Andy was like, "You never feel well when you come home. You're exhausted, mentally, physically. You're just tired." Mm-hmm. And so I took a COVID test, and I do not have COVID, but I am very, very tired. So, but we have zucchinis. We had 2 zucchinis in our garden. Andy's gonna make pasta with zucchini for dinner tonight.
Nice.
Very exciting.
Now, Jackie, if you continue to feel bad, take another COVID test because sometimes the test.
I'll take one tomorrow.
Well, yeah, wait, or give it a day or two, something like that. My son is graduating from high school on Friday.
Dun dun dun.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. There he is,
and he he's sent out so many resumes. Just trying to get a first job.
Okay, yeah.
Just like a job, not art and stuff like that. He's making money off of his TikTok.
That's good.
Can I tell you? Good. Let me put in the comments.
Do you want to type in the amount? A month?
So far from the combined from YouTube and TikTok is that much.
Okay,
and he's always he's Mr. Algorithm studying what was the last couple 2 months.
Oh wow, that's real.
Yes, that is real. It's good, and but it like he thinks he's a millionaire now. But still, he's been setting out no one responds to resumes. He's been going in person and saying, "Hey, can I fill out an application?" And they say go online and do it, and then no one returns an email or a call or anything like that. So finally, somebody did, and then he went for the interview and he got it, and so he's going to be cleaning up at a pizza parlor.
Okay. You know what? What was your first job?
I was a lifeguard, but I don't count that. So I would say first job that doesn't involve something I was already part of, where you just go into strangers, would be cashier at La Petite Boulangerie, which was a chain French bakery. It was from in the 80s.
Right.
And I remember a very stressed out manager named Diane, and she would get in at 3 a.m. and they would just, even back then, the croissants they came frozen from God knows where. You push them in the oven, and then they come out tasting I guess to Americans, like they were
Perfectly good croissants.
handcrafted in the bowels of Le Petit Boulangerie. But yeah, I mean, I think it is good to work some jobs like that, you know?
Yeah, you learn how to you learn that it's yes, it
Yeah.
is they are the jobs that I think then you know what 86 means. How about that? Then you know that it doesn't
Yes.
mean I'm gonna kill you. It
Yeah.
just means you're kicked out. You're 86th.
Right.
We don't have any shrimp.
Yeah.
It's 86th. I mean, that's all it. I mean, my first job was when I was 16. I was selling some stuff on the street, not drugs. It was
You were
but
mailing them to yourself at comedy clubs, though, right?
I was marking up student council candy bars, but the thing is so I got a job as a dishwasher at a very, very mediocre restaurant.
Mhm.
And so I worked there probably through the summer and the first 2 months of high school of the school year, because then football season started and I was in the marching band. And the mom of the woman who owned it didn't like me because I had too much joy. We don't know if that was the reason. I mean, I don't know what kind of employee I was, but I was probably mouthy, but I was a dishwasher.
Yeah, I would
I
never
did the job.
describe you as being overly joyed. So maybe there's a different reason. But yes.
Could have happened. You don't know. And then yeah, and so I mean and then I had hot dog stand jobs, and I've had, we've all had your retail and work in the register and this type of thing. And I think he'll figure out that he doesn't want to do that.
I know.
There's no reason you have to do it I mean, the thing is he probably now could go, no, I'm already aware that I don't want to do it. But there's no reason not to do it, because you learn how to take direction and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah. And yeah, I remember at La Petite, I just remembered that one of the girls that tormented me in elementary school was a coworker, and she had no memory of it whatsoever.
Sure.
Mhm.
That's
Shelby.
crazy. Shelby. Who's naming people? It's my niece is actually going to be a lifeguard. She just got certified for the lake. She can now do
Lake Michigan?
No, they live in Minnesota. So
right.
Yeah,
Lake,
so it's
Lake
just
Minnesota.
Wait,
you're gonna tell me Michigan has 1,000 fucking lakes and they didn't name one of them Minnesota? Whatever.
Yes.
You know what? All you M states, I can't keep track of you, and I don't want to.
We can just keep moving, because it's
including
just an
Milwaukee,
freshwater state. Milwaukee is attached to Lake Michigan.
Duluth
is attached to Lake Superior.
M. Okay,
Michigan
I get it.
Is also attached.
Any other letters in the Midwest?
Missouri, and also Iowa. Okay, so yeah, but yeah, so she's gonna do with actual, like, not just a pool kind of lifeguard. So fancy. Did you ever lifeguard on the ocean or anything like that?
I didn't. In fact, when I was swimming for UCLA, a lot of our swimmers like tried out for that. It's really competitive. To be a lifeguard on the beaches of LA is it's like being a Navy SEAL. That's how good you have to be. It's highly coveted. You had Olympic swimmers trying out for it and not getting it. So it's a really hard job to do. So no,
did you ever watch that show with
Baywatch?
Baywatch?
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't either. I understand that they saved people every episode, though.
I don't watch shows where women run in slow motion in swimsuits. Now, a lot of people do.
I know that they did that was because of Friends, and Chandler and Joey would watch it. That's the only reason I know that people did runs in slow motion in swimsuits. Because I never watched it myself. I think it was like a decade where I wasn't watching any television.
Yeah,
when that one came out, I was just doing stand up, watching reruns during the middle of the day, and Speaking of which, what did I watch? Lydia Poet in Italian on Netflix. There's 2 seasons, going to be another season, and it's based on a true story about this woman who tried to get a law degree in Florence in the early 1900s.
Oh.
Yeah. And but I would say it's probably pretty fictionalized, but
Okay. That sounds
it's
fun.
just it is fun. And then, she is trying to get a law degree, and then she of course solves crimes. Why wouldn't she?
I can't. I am currently just in the possession of the Blacklist.
Okay.
I can't stand it, and I can't stop watching it. And every episode gets more ridiculous. But James Spader is so good, and there's an underlying story that I'm sort of interested in. So
Okay.
I can't watch anything else until I finish the Blacklist, which is like 9 seasons, and they're all 20 episode seasons. This is old school television, and they're hour longs.
Oh wow!
So
that is a lot of television.
I'm ruined, honestly, until
Yeah,
I get this
I got a
series
text
out
message
of me.
from Aaron Foley saying, "What should I watch in British mysteries?" And I sent her a list of 14. And she was like, "That should cover it. Thank you."
Can you put that in the chat? So I mean, in the lady chat, so we can all enjoy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. It's but because one of the things I'm watching right now are a lot of, and I'm rewatching them because I've seen them all, are like Foyle's War and Home Fires, because and Endeavor, even though that one is after World War II, because I like the British home front, how they survived the Nazis. I like sort of the pep talks they give each other, and I like to remember that they won at the end of it. So, yes, I will be watching that. But I also tried to, I was watching a sitcom called Running Point with Kate Hudson.
Oh.
It's essentially, it feels kind of Arrested Development, because it is about the LA Lakers, but they're called the Waves. And she is the CEO.
Oh.
And she's the CEO because her brother is a meth addict and he had to go to treatment.
And she inherited the job from her
and
family.
She inherited the job. And so there's a lot of, it feels Arrested Development-y, but with Kate Hudson. And it is very funny. And,
it's on Netflix?
It's either on Netflix or Prime. I think it's on Netflix, actually. Okay. Yeah. But that is, and it's a sitcom, so it's 30 minutes, and there's only, how many episodes, whatever.
Hey, Jackie, can I promote my dates since you promoted all of yours, or should we take a break first?
Let's take a break and then
promote
yours.
All right, we're back. So let's see. In June 21st, I will be in San Leandro doing that afternoon show I do every single year. I don't think I have enough new material that's clean. So I don't know. I'll deal with that another time. The big news on that is my son is going to be driving us up the 5 while he continues to get his driving experience, those hours under his belt. The 13th and 14th, I will be at Stir Crazy in Arizona, in the Phoenix area. I think it's in Glendale, one of the little suburbs of Phoenix. They all run into each other. And let's see, the 6th and 7th, I will be at Dr. Grin's in Grand Rapids on the Friday and Saturday, not the Thursday. I had to cancel that because of my work, my writing job. But then I will be there Friday and Saturday.
That is awesome.
And then I guess I'm going to be shot like an old horse and buried.
Then you're no longer
I'm not allowed to work in this business. Yes.
Right. I am going to London and I'm doing Angel at the Bill Murray. I actually have a link that I posted. A couple of people told me that they bought tickets.
Oh, nice.
The 23rd of July, I will be in London, England, doing my hour. It's actually, it's 11 pounds. I was like, wait, it should be at least 20 pounds. But they didn't, I didn't talk to them about it. So it's cheap. It'll be a cheap night out.
Are you doing a door deal? And they made the ticket prices without consulting you?
Yeah, they just did a normal. I think they just did their local.
Oh, gotcha.
Their local pricing. So, but David Nile was telling me. He said you should at least you should talk to them about doing more next time. And I said yes, the next time. I just happened to play through London, and but
Hey, oh,
yeah.
Did your sister find out if Armenia is doing? Are they doing duels? Would you be eligible? And does that get you into the EU?
It doesn't get me into the EU because they're not in the EU, but they have sent out feelers to join the EU, which means that it's going to take 10 years for them to get into the EU. But dual citizenship is something. I don't know. I mean, I'd go to Armenia.
I'm just
I've
saying,
never really.
if you want to go back to London, not that the EU and the UK are, I guess they're talking to kind of unroll some of the Brexit stuff. So
Oh, good.
that's good news, I think, for anyone who's like an EU citizen. Maybe you could do a little more
Yeah.
work in Londonia if you.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. But I did get turned down to do sort of the cool kids show in London. There's some club called Top Secret, and they're booked. I guess the one night that I would be there that I could do it.
Well,
So
Jackie, they're booked. You didn't get turned down. They're booked.
yes, that is a better attitude. Thank you very much. There you go. Wow, there it is. It can happen. Pep talk, Kilmartin.
Oh yeah, I'm
There
a
you go.
regular Josh Gondelman.
You guys find Josh Gondelman.
Yes, he has a really great Substack too. It's fun to read. So does Michael Ian Black.
Oh, good.
And I just subscribed to Sarah Schaefer's. She has a crafting. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to bring this up.
What?
I took a sewing class on Saturday. I was like, fuck it. I don't know how to do anything, right? I can't
You don't
sew.
have any sets.
I don't have any sets.
Where did you take it?
So yeah, I'm going crazy. So I'm taking sewing classes. Thanks a lot, fucking comedy clubs. Book me. Get me out of these fucking classes. So I made a pillow, and the front had 5 different pieces of fabric. So I had to sew 5 times.
Right.
With a sewing machine, and then
Sure.
sew that thing to the other side.
Right.
It was a lot, and it's not
then-
bad looking.
No,
I
it
mean,
looked
there's
pretty
there's
good
an
on the
obvious
Instagram.
seam at the close, but still.
Sure. I mean, it was. Did you have to learn how to thread the sewing machine?
Yes,
Was that part of it?
That is hard. Very
that was the hard part.
frustrating.
The machinery. The machinery is the hardest part. Yes.
Yeah. So that was tough. But yeah, it was a lot of fun and went by really fast. I want to the next class, the next level up. You make a tote, and I
Ooh,
love
a
a
tote.
tote.
Do you
So
love a
I'm going
tote?
to take that soon, especially looking at my calendar. And we'll see what happens, Jackie. Who knows? I could be sewing. You know that my mother was a great sewer. In
Did
fact,
she make your clothes?
She did for a long time.
Yeah.
And then she, for our swim team, our rec team, Las Huntas, the Walruses, she made.
Go
We were the funnest, coolest team. I wish my son could have had that experience instead of what he had, but whatever. Because we were
Yep.
underdogs, and our no one had everyone else is like the seals, the dolphins, and we're the walruses. And it was just fun because we just had fun, and we had a great cheer where we'd hold on to the gutter, and we'd all be lined up on the gutter and go like a walrus. It was so gross,
Terrifying.
but we loved it. Yeah,
Yes.
it was fun.
Right.
But anyway, so she made at least 40 swimsuits. She sewed every swimsuit for every member of the swim team for our team suits.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was incredible.
I have to say that my grandmother did a lot of sewing, and she taught me how to darn socks. And I darned my father's socks because Nancy gave me his socks, and he was like, one of the reasons why I got a job was so that I didn't have to wear darn socks. And yeah.
Well, I just want to feel useful in the apocalypse, and I don't think that stand-up comedy is actually a useful thing if shit goes down.
We are essential workers, and I got to bring those stickers over to you. So because the Patreon stickers, this several Jackie and Laurie fans did come out to the shows at in the Carolinas and stuff. Ooh,
Cool.
in one of the towns, and I think it was Charleston,
Mm-hmm.
there was a bookstore, and it was incredibly well curated, but they had a signed first edition of a Tom Robbins book, Jitterbug Perfume, which is was my favorite Tom Robbins book for the longest time. And it is the reason why I take baths. I realized.
Oh, wow.
Because I read it in college, and one of the premises of this it's kind of a surreal sci-fi kind of fantasy book. Whatever, everybody seems it had a little Vonnegut, not a Vonnegut vibe, but a little bit of it, sort of. And but the main character was made immortal because they took hot baths. And so I was like, I'll take a hot bath. I'm 19.
That's such an odd way to develop a habit, but whatever works.
Right. I mean, why?
Cut to 30 years later, you're tipping the front desk at every hotel trying to get a bathtub.
To get a bathtub entirely, just to get
costing you a lot of money.
But everybody's psyched about it. People are today at my flight was again delayed at the Salt Lake. I made it. I made it out of Minneapolis to Salt Lake, and then Salt Lake was pushed back a couple of hours. I gave myself an express spa in the. Yes.
What'd you get?
I got neck and back.
Okay.
And she was great, actually. And then but at the Minneapolis one, I ate breakfast, and I tried to tip. It's very expensive to eat breakfast at an airport. So I tipped $10, and she accidentally typed $20. And so she came back to me with her manager, and her manager was like, she accidentally did $20. And I said, well, live it up. I don't think you have to credit me $10 or hand me a sweaty 10. Let's just say I don't go forth into the world. And she was like, would you like a cheese? Would you like a cheesecake is the next thing that came out of her mouth. And I didn't, but I did want another cup of coffee. So
you could have brought that cheesecake home.
Do you love cheesecake? Is this something I'm
enjoy
learning?
A cheesecake. Yes.
A New York cheesecake? Is that your kind of favorite?
I don't make regional distinctions. I just like cheesecake and then crackers on the outside. Graham crackers, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, the graham cracker crust.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's yes. All right. Chris Foley, Andy's mama, she used to make a very kind of southern cheesecake that was more aerated.
Oh, okay.
And so it was smoother. The New York cheesecakes I find them to be denser now.
I think I like that, but you can't eat much. Like it's a lot to eat, but
they're
do
very
like that.
Sweet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that's where we're at, you guys. So Thursday night, we're going to have a Zoom show.
Yeah, come to our Zoom show, guys. We're going to start that back up again, especially me. If this summer is any indication, I will be in New York, guys, by the way, the 27th through July 3rd.
Okay.
So I'll be doing spots in New York City those nights. Also, I just bought a solo ticket to see Gypsy on the 28th.
Oh, wow.
It's the night before Audra McDonald takes off for the summer, I guess. So I'm seeing one of her last performances in this iteration. So I'm excited. I looked at the theater. There's like some single seats with no one next to them. And I was like, all right, I'll just be, someone's third wheel, 2 p.m. on the Saturday.
You're going to go to a matinee? Of course.
Yeah.
Because then it's before
I got
shows.
spots at night. Yeah.
That's right. New York's still booking her, you guys.
That's right.
I think we've done it. We've done it. Okay. Goodbye.